Today I'm going to start a series of videos based around the First Strike box, which is a Warhammer 40,000 starter set. These videos are specifically for people who have never played 40k before. It might not even be the person who wants to play it. So your kid might have come home with this that they've spent their pocket money on and they want you to build it with them. You want to get into it, but you just want to dip your toe in, and the 25 quid starter set looks like a good idea. So you're presented with this box, which has got pictures of miniatures on the back, pictures of a board, some dice, a measure, some little terrain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up and we will start having a look. So the tools I'll be using during this video are clippers, a knife, polystyrene cement and a small drill. You actually don't need to use these three. You will need a pair of clippers to separate miniatures from sprues, but I'm going to be using knives to clean mould lines. I'm going to be using glue to stick miniatures together. They do all clip together, and I'll be using the drill bit to drill out the gun barrels, which again is a completely optional element. Open the box. And this is the contents. We've got a series of sprues. So you have dice, you have bases, you have a small tape measure in hard plastic, you've got transfers, you've got a sprue of 6 poxwalkers, which are like zombies, you've got a sprue of 3 Death Guard Marines, which are like zombie space marines. You've got a sprue of 3 Reaver Marines, which are like close combat marines. You've got a sprue of 3 Intercessor Marines, who are your standard tactical marines. You have some books. This turned upside down is the terrain. You have a playmat, instructions, unit cards for each of the units, core rules, and a Read This First book. The Read This First book has some background, a little bit of thought about putting the Marines together, more background, tells you about the Space Marines and the Death Guard, gives you an advert for the No Fear bigger starter set, talks about painting miniatures, because painting miniatures is a big part of the hobby, gives you information on the paints to get for the different groups. So Death Guard, they've got a Death Guard paint set. Ultramarines, they've got an Ultramarine paint set, and they've got an Ultramarine paint set with some extra models in. So it goes through how to paint the Ultramarines, it goes through how to paint the Death Guard, using what is in these basic paint starter sets. So for an absolute beginner, so if you find yourself doing this with your kid, then it goes through the very basics of painting, and it even gives you the Citadel painting system here. So with these it's just base coat, shade, base, because this is the basic tutorial. Producing models like this, you'll be putting in extra steps. You'll be layering, you'll be highlighting, might be applying little washes to select bits of the miniature. In the painting video I'm going to do, I'm going to show you some of that. But then it introduces playing the game, it explains a bit about the dice, and battlefield map, which looks to be a double-sided battlefield map. It gives you a mission, and it explains bit by bit the rules and how they work. So how to shoot, how to move, things like that. Then it gives you another mission, and again more explanation of the rules, and then a third mission, and again more explanation, followed by a fourth mission. By the point of the fourth mission you've got all the rules in place. You've then got this core rules book, which is the basic rules of Warhammer 40,000. It is very short. The unit rules are all on these little cards. These little cards tell you how far a unit moves, what it's to hit in, what dice you need to roll to hit in close combat, to hit with shooting, how strong it is, how tough it is, how much damage it can take, how many attacks it has, what its leadership is and what its saving throw is. It breaks down the weapons that it could have, and it gives you any special rules or abilities. So Plague Marines get a 5+ save against any wound. So every time you take a wound, you've failed all your saving throws, the model's going to die, you get another dice, and if you get 5 up on that, so 5 or 6, then the model is safe. So you've then got this for the Marines as well. So with it, and it lists again all the statistics and the special rules, putting the units together. Power is used as a rough point value, so you've got 8 power of Marines and 6 power of Death Guard. So you could throw another 6 squad of Poxwalkers in to make it absolutely even. But Plague Marines are actually really good, and I would not bet against them. But that is the basic unboxing. Let's also show you this battle map. Which has some letters that will come up in the mission, and is basically this big. Let's zoom out a bit, and how good they look just clipped out and stuck down. Now I'm going to be using this knife, and I'm going to be taking the mould lines off. So you can see here where the sprue has been attached to the plastic. I'm going to take that off. You can also maybe see some faint lines along where the mould goes. So particularly noticeable with the backpack. So this line here. So a tiny bit of scraping and it just comes off. Citadel do, so Games Workshop do, a mould line removal tool, because you may not want your kid playing with craft knives like this. I'm old, I've been doing it for years, but it's also how you get scars like that on your hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all the models from the sprues and remove all the mould lines. My Marines I'm actually going to put on these bases. My Marines I'm actually going to put on these bases, which are the Citadel Scenic bases produced by Games Workshop. So to do that, I'm going to clip this bit off the bottom of the feet. Because then, once I've tidied the bottom of the feet up, it'll just sit on there, like that. So, I'll be back in a minute, having cleaned all the models up, ready to base them. What I'll do is I will assemble the Primaris Marines on camera for you. The Poxwalkers, Death Guard and Reavers I will assemble off camera. I'll then come back and show you the finished product and how good they can look without any paint on them. So I'll be back in a moment. I've got the Primaris Marines ready for assembly. I've taken the tabs off the feet to stick them onto the plastic bases, so I'm now going to start putting them together. So this will start going together like this, and I will pop the head in here like this, like so. Then, and I'll zoom in, as you can see, like this. What I'll then do is I will line up how I'm going to put him on his base, and it'll be like this, I think. Yeah, like this. A little glue on each foot. Like so. I'll give that a minute to dry. While I'm doing that, I'll put him to one side with the rest of the pieces, and I will do the same thing with the next Primaris Marine. I'll attach the body and the head, and then stick him to the base. So again, carefully lining up there. The glue, because it's polystyrene cement, softens the holes. Like so. Then work out how I want to place him, like this, coming forward. Glue on the feet. Hold it steady for a minute, put it to one side. The last model. Now on this guy, he's the sergeant, and what I've done, because I've got quite an extensive collection of bits, I've taken a power sword from one of the tactical sprues, cut his hand off and replaced it. Power swords are close combat weapons that you can give to sergeants. I've done it to vary the model a little, and also because it's really useful to have a power sword on your sergeant if you get into combat and you want to carve somebody up. So in this case he's got a bare head, and he's got his helmet at his waist. So line up the pegs, push the head bit in, and then push it closed. And again, work out how I'm going to attach him to the base. Glue on the feet. Like so. Take the first model. That's now quite solid. Test fit the arm. Glue. On goes the arm. Test fit the bolter. Like so. Glue. On goes the bolter. Test fit the backpack. Like so. Glue. Model finished. Put that to one side. Get the next model. I'm not going to attach the bolter so that when I paint I've got the chest piece free. What I will do is I'll have that separate and spray it separate. So I've already test fitted the arm piece. Tap of glue. Like so, and then to make sure it's in the right position I'm going to push the bolter in like that. Backpack I've already test fitted. Tap of glue there. Like so. So now to put the sergeant together. That should just fit like that. It's giving me problems though, so what I'm going to do is chop it off. Good dab of glue there. The arm goes on like that. Because there's no peg, I'm going to hold it for a minute. There we go. This arm should go pointing down, like so. Don't want to knock this arm again until it's dry. So dab there. Like so. Backpack. Like so. So we've got the Primaris Marines, a converted sergeant with a power sword, standard Marine and a Marine with a scanner. I've got the Reaver Marines, which I've assembled. Again, on the GW Scenic basis. So, put these back here. I've got the Death Guard Marines, again assembled. I've not put them on Scenic bases because I'm going to put sand on these bases. And I've got the Poxwalkers, again assembled. And I'll pull this out, and that is the models in the set. I've done one minor conversion on this model. Everything else is stock, exactly as it comes off the sprue. So I'm going to undercoat the Marines in silver because my Space Marine chapter is the Warriors of Iron, who have silver armour. I'm going to undercoat the Death Guard in grey because I'm going to go with a scheme very much like this for my Death Guard. This is my test model, and the Poxwalkers I will paint using a series of washes. So that's the models assembled from the set. A quick look at the rules. It's a complete starter set that will help you go through it with somebody who doesn't know the rules particularly well. The missions break everything down step by step and go through it. And by the time you finish playing them, you'll know exactly how it works. The armies aren't equal. The Marines have got about a third more in terms of what would be points or power level than the Death Guard. But the Death Guard do have a very nice gun, a big power fist, some completely expendable guys. You could have twice as many as that and that would make the force equal. But it's a really nice set with really nice models. The Death Guard in particular, these models had a decent amount of flash on them, which I've gone over. But the models are also really, really detailed. The Marines have got clean, simple lines for painting, and I'm going to zoom in on one of the Reavers right now so you can see. Just how much detail they've got, but it's easy to reach detail. The Death Guard have got a lot more detail. So you can see stick grenades pitting on the armour, tentacles coming out of everywhere. The backpacks have got these little globes, they've got another skull on, they've got little globes there, they've got pitting here, they've got chainmail. So of the models, the Death Guard are for slightly more experienced painters, but this is a starter set. They're all quite easy to put together. They don't have huge amounts of detail, especially the Marines. The Marines I'm going to paint up quite quickly, and in another video you will see that they do not have huge amounts of detail that bog the model down. The Poxwalkers are all fairly simple, fairly nice models. It's good to get another 6 of them. But yeah, it's a great little set. It's definitely worth it. It comes with everything that you possibly need. I would say it's a great purchase for somebody starting out. I'll do a separate video on gameplay. I'll do a video on painting the Marines, a video on painting the Death Guard, and a video on painting the Poxwalkers. That'll take you through painting everything in the starter set. But I'd highly recommend it as a purchase. Absolutely great little thing. It'll be great for showing people who don't know how to play the game how to play the game. So if you've liked this video, hit like or subscribe. I've got some other videos about painting, I've got some other videos about modelling. I'll be basing these using sand, and again, I think I've covered that in a model, I'll be covered that in a video. I'll be undercoating these, I've covered that in a video. I'll be going through some painting techniques, I've covered a lot of that in videos. Otherwise, good luck with your gaming, guys.